Amsterdam do it, though it hurts them, I know. Why ask if Shad do it? Way to bring me Shad Row. That isn't at all how that song goes, but I am your friend Eshkalar, the world's greatest Canadian wizard, and this is a special addendum to my Missing Person series. Today, I'm moving to the PC so I can read what I hath wrought instead of having to try to remember it off the top of my drug-addled brain. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about that most mythical, that most imaginary of all possible things in our vast religious and mystical tradition, paradise. So I ask you, is it a person, a place, a thing? Here's an anecdote. Writers of old had one heck of a time getting noticed. Finding a major publisher in hopes of a juicy paycheck was a game of slow, crawling inches. There were all sorts of publications at the grassroots level, the community level, but those rising above that level amounted to so few as to represent mere noise in the data. Lewis Carroll, C.L. Dodgson, had an amazing facility with his native language. He wrote poetry and prose and lyric for song and dance. He created and lavishly illustrated a literary world in which a child's logic was the only operative law. He was also probably a drinker of laudanum and coca wines, which were all the rage in his time and place. Today, we call that buzz a speedball and consider it the highest form of chemical entertainment. Kids, don't try that at home. It kills, honest. No one can deny that the man, a sort of fallen monk, was both brilliant and talented, and a bit of a perv even by the broad standards of the day. His great good fortune that his association with an upper-class family opened doors to publisher's office that otherwise would have remained closed. Otherwise, our genius of the stories for children genre would have remained an unknown. For every Dodgson, there were 10,000 anonymous hopefuls. As with most great writers, Dodgson's profitability really took off after he died. His seminal work was a cash cow whose calves dominated the early years of cinema. One of the earliest moving picture movies, was Alice in Wonderland, a groundbreaker in 1903 and then a more developed version in 1915 especially. It's always been that way. You get discovered after you pass along to infinity. It's a bit more positive for stage performers. In life, you work before an audience. That audience generates fans, if you're both fortunate and capable, and those fans give back reinforcement and some cash flow. Sweet, sweet supplementary income. Even then, you don't reach a national audience until, pretty close to the end. Once again, however, for every Eric Clapton, there are 10,000 dreamers slowly losing confidence in their ability to entertain. 5 personal friends who love your work can't support you. 10 million fans across the nation can support you, but you won't get to know any. Fans and friends are separate but equal components of wellness. With one, you derive spiritual and social comfort in spite of your flaws. From the other, you derive physical comfort but live in self-imposed exile from honest sociality. If they learn your flaws, your publisher will drop you like a hot potato, won't they, Kanye? Yeah. So you might need a balance of factors, at least if you want to achieve happiness, as opposed to living an ivory tower prison system where the food is top-notch, or sitting in an alley crying. What I've got is friends. Even today, with interconnectivity bringing trolls into every otherwise pleasant interlude, it ain't easy to achieve a wider, broader fan base without losing those beloved friends, without giving up the very things you most desire: acceptance, belonging, hugs from people who could care less about your money. I'll never give up the impossible dream that I can maintain a small group of intimates unchanged while being so entertaining at my art that I attract the sort of notice that makes a multimillionaire out of a homeboy. Yeah, I won't give up the dream that defines my ultimate desire, but I will every day give thanks for those friends and best beloveds that give my existence social relevance. You folks out there, if you dream of being noticed, the first step is to test your act in front of those who know what it means to be an artist. A really good place for that is the Starlight Lounge's Wednesday night open mic. It's a room full of writers and performers. We know what it takes. We're struggling to be heard, just like you are. We don't judge, we appreciate. No competition, no jealousy. Just a quiet room hanging on your every lyric or line. For me, that's paradise.